unique position. I get to talk with and observe lots of teams making mobile apps, websites, and other digital tools. Most of these digital initiatives will fail. 70%, according to McKinsey. Hundreds of billions of dollars will be lost. Lost on products customers don't want to buy. Lost on products that don't even make it to the customer. Lost on services that just don't work. People call me because they're struggling. My job is to help them figure out what their customer needs and how to get it to market. I work with a lot of ordinary chief product officers, ordinary chief technology officers, ordinary product leaders. And every once in a while, I get to meet a product leader who is exceptional. These exceptional product leaders, they're growing their revenue and their customer base. They're getting all the attention you want, all the talent you want. I've seen what makes them exceptional, and I want you to know what it is. You may think it's their great ideas that make them exceptional, and they do have great ideas. They also have mediocre ones and bad ones too. Somehow we got this notion that the idea was the important thing. To go from an idea to an app on your phone takes a team of people with different skill sets making lots of decisions on what to build and how to build it. So it's not their ideas that make them exceptional. You may think execution, their ability to get stuff done. Now see, you can get a lot of stuff done. And it doesn't mean that anybody wants to buy it. So it's not their execution that makes them exceptional. I've seen what makes them exceptional because all of them do the same thing and they do it in more or less the same way. They teach their teams how to think, how to listen and solve customer problems. Now I feel kind of dumb standing up here and saying this, listen and solve customer problems, because I'm probably not the first person to do it. But here's the thing, I sit in your meetings. I watch your teams make decisions. Then I go talk to your customers. You may say the words customer focus, customer obsessed. You may put lots of sticky notes up on the wall. But your teams don't know who your customer is, and they don't know what they need. How do I know? Well, when I ask you who your customer is, and let's say we're talking about a business-to-consumer B2C product, you tell me it's for a soccer mom. All the soccer moms out there, except that doesn't really help me understand her. I mean, are we talking about a soccer mom with 2 kids, a job, and a nanny? Maybe she has a very different life from one who's got an aging parent, an autistic child who has to do multiple pickups and drop-offs, who has to co-parent, who has to maybe take public transportation because she doesn't own a minivan. That her kids play soccer is the least interesting, valuable, viable data point about her. Now, if we know that she's struggling with finances, nutrition, how to work from home full-time while also taking care of her small children full-time, which, by the way, sucks. If we understand that about her, then we can do something about it. Now, in the B2B world, business to business, we hear a lot about titles like heads of marketing, except, heads of marketing can be really different depending on the size of the company, the revenue, the business model, the industry. But some of them are dealing with ad fraud. They're being scammed by fraudulent clicks. They don't know where they're coming from. They don't know how to stop them. They don't know what tool to integrate with all their other tools. But if we know what their challenge is, then we can do something about it. See, years ago, demographics might have been enough to help us understand their customers. And that might have worked because they didn't have very many choices, so they settled. And they settled for us. But now we have lots of choices and new things are coming out in the market every day, which means you need to be deeply, objectively clear about who your customer is and what they need. You need to get out of the building, do the research, look at the data, find the patterns that aren't biased to help you understand what they need. And it's not enough that you as a leader understand and you just tell your teams what to do, because you're not the one doing the work. See, we've got the customer uses the product. The team works on that product every day, making lots of decisions about how to prioritize things or what they should look like. Then we've got the product leader, and way over here is the CEO. See, top-down decision-making just doesn't work. They're too far away from the customer to understand them. It takes too much time to go from the CEO to the team. That means they're not responsive. They're not adapting. They're not thinking. In order to go from the ordinary to the exceptional, we need to change the way teams think. An ordinary team will think about following the development process, getting the work done on time, meeting the specification. If that's what they're thinking about, that's what they're focused on, that's what they're going to do. It's what we taught them to do. A team with an exceptional product leader will be thinking about, what does the customer need? How can we help them? How, by helping our customer, can we help our business grow? How a team thinks matters. So let me show you an example. So this is a manufacturer, and they make the market-leading products for decking, railings, stairs, and other outdoor items. The amount that they know about substructures and stairs will blow your mind. And that's why they're the top choice for contractors. But they wanted to get in the market for the do-it-yourself DIY builder. So they hired a team to build a digital designer tool for them. But the team didn't know anything about how to build anything that wasn't software. They didn't know what kind of person does it themselves instead of hiring a contractor. They didn't know what kind of support that DIY builder would need to guide them through all the complex and expensive decisions about what needed to be in their design and their project. What this team knew how to do was to learn really fast. So they spent hours and hours with experts building scale models of decks. They spent lots of time talking about railings. I kid you not, hours and hours and hours on railings. They went out and they talked to DIY builders. They did prototypes and they showed them. They made sure that every decision they were making on this project was to help that DIYer have the confidence to take the project on, have the guidance that they needed to do it well. And by helping that customer, they were going to help this company grow in the DIY market. See, the way you think, your mindset, it matters. It shapes and guides and frames the decisions we make every day, the small ones and the large ones. The research of Carol Dweck and others has taught us that it's not only possible to change someone's mindset, to change a team's mindset, an entire company's mindset, you can change their performance. Exceptional product leaders change the way their teams think to focus them on solving problems for the customer and helping the business grow. Here's how I know I'm in the presence of an exceptional product leader. Within the first 5 minutes of talking to them about what they do, they're going to tell me their customer story. They always do. See, exceptional product leaders tell their customer story to every prospective new employee, to every stakeholder, to every investor, and to their team every time that team is about to make a major decision. They've done the work to have the clarity and the details about who their customer is and what we are trying to accomplish as a team. And they need to say it over and over again to make sure their team understands it. If I meet you, within the first 5 minutes, you don't tell me your customer story, I start to wonder. Is that because storytelling is hard? Because I can definitely tell you that it's complicated and takes some practice. Or is it because you've gotten so busy in the day-to-day work of trying to make things happen that you started to forget who the customer is, that it's been a while since you talked to one, that you started to lose focus on the big goals and objectives we're trying to accomplish with our company? And if the story is started to get fuzzy for you, if you're not quite so sure, what does that mean for your team? What goes in one of these exceptional stories matters. So let me tell you one about the Common Application. If you or anyone in your family has applied to college in the last, let's say, 20 years, they probably use the Common Application. Every year, millions of high school seniors go online, they choose the colleges and universities they want to apply to, they enter their essays, their data, they get letters of recommendation, and then they send it off, hoping to get into colleges of their choice. The mission of the Common Application is access, equity, and integrity in the college admissions process. So when they started to figure out, what do we do in mobile? They were really thinking about their students, in particular students like this one. No one in her family has ever been to college. She wants to be the first. She doesn't have fancy coaches. She doesn't have a well-equipped college counselor at her school. She's got to keep up with her schoolwork, extracurricular activities that will look good on the application, and a job and maybe family commitments too. She's got to do all of that while handling a complicated process of lots of different essays and recommendations and data points she needs to collect and submit on time. Don't you see what she's up against? Don't you want to help? Because that's what this team did, and it guided every decision that they made about what to build when and how to build it. See, what goes in one of these exceptional stories has a couple of key hallmarks, and I want you to know what they are. The first is that an exceptional product leader creates a detailed picture of the customer. Among a sea of people, I know which one is their customer. They've created a picture that's clear. They helped us understand what they're trying to do, what they're up against, and what they could achieve if things were just a little bit easier. Next, they talk about how the market has continually failed to serve this customer, how they don't understand their needs. They don't see the opportunity. They're not able to adapt or innovate, which means the market is open for an organization or a company like ours to come in and do something special. Lastly, they tell the team how the product is going to help. They paint a picture of the future where the customer is thriving and achieving their goals, where a company is serving the market and it's growing and healthy, where we're contributing to our community. They paint this picture in such a way that the team is willing to commit to the work, knowing full well that it's going to be complicated and it's going to be hard, and absolutely nothing is guaranteed. Now, I've met a lot of exceptional product leaders, or really ordinary product leaders, who can do these three. But the truly, truly special can do one more. And for most of us, it's kind of scary. They tell their team that they don't have all the answers. Most of us want to be seen as the leaders who have the brilliant ideas, the great strategies, who always have an answer when the team comes to us. It's a lot harder to say that you don't know. To say things like, I know about our customer, but not everything. Go find out. I know the opportunity is there, but not exactly how to take advantage of it. Let's go figure that out. I know that things will change. I know that we will get things wrong. And when we do, we'll figure it out together. See, what makes them truly magical and exceptional is that they both can paint a compelling vision of the future that we all want to get to, but yet they leave plenty of space for their team to fill with their ideas, their contribution, their experience, and what they learn from interacting with customers. It's these two things together that make them so exceptional. Except it's not magic. This is something that you can learn to do too. Having a high-performing team making a successful product is possible. You can figure out how to do this. You can learn to do this, and it will suck at first, but you'll get better along the way, and I promise you that it's worth it. Here's your first step. Start telling your story. If you don't know who your customer is, go look. If you can't understand the market opportunity and uniquely identify what is available, go find out. Create a compelling vision for your team and welcome them to contribute their ideas. Make it safe enough for them to tell you when you're being a dumbass. Tell your story to everyone you meet. Tell it all the time. It will suck at first, but it will get better. The picture will become clear. The team will be more effective. You'll lead your team to something exceptional. Go make something great together.